there. We're live.
Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday, woo, woo, Wednesday, woo, woo. I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh. All right. No early morning coffee for you anymore.
I don't do coffee.
Oh, that's just natural. Oh dear.
It's natural. Okay. All right. I got to do the intro to the show because
Yes.
nobody knows who the hell we are. Hi, I'm Julie from Balanced Life with Julie, and this is The Wellness Movement, and this is...
I'm Kaz. I am the owner of Key Health and Wellness in Whitby. I'm a registered massage therapist and energy healer.
So I want to say welcome to the H.E.R network on ZINGOTV, channel 251. Remember to download the Barn Burner and the ZINGOTV app in their respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. And while you're downloading, make sure to rate and leave a comment. Both apps are free. ZINGOTV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, also on all smart TVs from 2016 forward.
Nice. Well done.
Professional.
It's a lot to say.
It is.
But it's perfect. You did very well. Well done.
Try saying that 10 times fast.
No. I cannot. I don't have this natural vigor that you have. Your little happy Wednesday.
Wellness Wednesday.
All right. That's it. That's all we got. Nothing else.
This is like, it'll be like Seinfeld. This is a show about nothing.
Oh, that was a popular show.
True.
So I hear. I didn't really watch it.
You didn't?
No. I don't know. I don't know if I like missed that era and just didn't, even Friends I didn't really watch until after. And then I think probably a year or two ago, I actually watched Friends properly.
Okay, yeah, that's like way past when the show aired.
Yes. So maybe now I should try and watch Seinfeld. I don't know, whatever.
I'm sure you have other things to do with your time.
Yes, like everything. Everything first, and then maybe I'll watch it. I haven't quite completed Netflix yet, so we'll see. Maybe in the next lockdown.
Could that be like hashtag goals for someone to like literally try and watch the entire Netflix library? I don't know that that is the best use of your life. I'm just saying, but
I'm sure it's in the process, but they change all the time. So it would be hard for you to do that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure someone's trying. So good for them.
Good for you.
Let us know how it's going.
Whoever you are.
If you have the time.
/ laying on your couch, Netflixing and chilling every day.
Well,
you know what?
That's a little different.
The last time I remember really Netflixing and chilling was...
No, don't complete that sentence.
No. It was... No, I don't mean it the dirty way. I mean it like binge watching something.
Just relaxing and watching TV. Okay.
Yes, not the other stuff. Anyway, I wouldn't talk about that on TV. Anyway.
It would make for a good conversation.
Yes. Actually, today's the 25th, which is literally 5 years since we moved into this house. And I remember it was our first winter here. We had like a snowstorm over the Christmas holidays and we just didn't go anywhere. And we were binge watching, you know, that it was like a docu-series drama about like some murderer.
Oh, Making a Murderer?
Yes, that. We literally binge watched that thing over 2 days. It was super sad. Like we got up in the morning and back then I drank coffee, had our coffee and got on the couch and started watching that show. And we just kept watching episodes back to back.
How can you not? It was a great show. And it's awful because it's a true thing. Like these people are, you're back and forth. Some days you're like, he did it, legit did it. And then the next time you're like, he didn't do it. And that's the best part about that documentary is you're just back and forth. And then the second season, you're like, yes, he's getting off because that woman is phenomenal. And then at the end, you're like, because
I did not watch.
Spoiler alert, he didn't get out.
I did not watch the second season. I only watched the first.
Well,
So
well,
anyway.
this winter, there you go.
And the other thing was I like so didn't watch Game of Thrones when it was on. And then finally, I think not this year, but the year before, whatever the last season of Game of Thrones, we finally just like watched all of Game of Thrones, but we were like super disciplined about it. We would only watch like 2 or 3 episodes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I only understood when we watched Game of Thrones that saying winter is coming, like what it meant.
Oh, well, I have yet to watch it. And I, you know what? I don't even want to watch it. I've seen a few episodes, but only because when we were in Cuba in January, that was the only English TV station. And they played Game of Thrones on repeat, just nonstop Game of Thrones. But it wasn't even the TV set was like this big. And the color was really off. So it was really dark. So I have no idea what was going on. And I think it just really turned me off. But I don't jump on the bandwagon of things. When people are like, you gotta watch it, I'm like, nope. And I kind of don't think I'm going to. Cue to next week when I'm like, oh my God, winter is coming.
Binge watching Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
The cinematography in that show like was really dark for some episodes. So if the
that's
TV
probably what it was then.
And then here's a fun fact. I actually know one of the cinematographers on that show.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. This is at all not what we were going to talk about today.
It wasn't, but that's all right.
Yeah.
So far, it's been entertaining.
Very entertaining. Who was that?
Nothing. Sorry. Oh, no. I like it. Something caught the side of my thing, but it wasn't the resident ghosty here, so that's fine.
Okay, as long as it wasn't the ghost.
No, I've warned them, like, you need to stay out. This is just for a Julie and I thing. Mm-hmm. It's not the time to make an appearance.
Yeah.
So that would really upstage us, which would be not right.
Not cool at all.
No.
Like really. So we were going to talk about what we do specifically to try and help people.
Mm-hmm. How we are healing this world one client at a time.
One client at a time.
Yes. Absolutely.
So my sort of thing is I usually, I have a whole big bag of tricks that I've learned over the years and picked up. And so I usually start with nutrition. Most people have terrible nutrition. But generally, it's interesting because I was talking with a client last night and she has a very specific issue. And I asked her, I said, so when did this thing start happening? So it's nutrition, but then we also have to kind of go under and really dig up like what's going on. Like a lot of times people use food as a coping mechanism for stress or for a way to cover up certain emotions. So there is like a little bit of almost like psychology involved in trying to unearth what's happening. And then along with that, there's meditation and tapping and journaling, like all of these sort of different practices that I bring in depending on who the person is and where they're at in their journey and what their goals are, what specifically they're looking for. But yeah. But that's 100% perfect. Success rate so far, that's always a bonus.
Damn, girl. That's great.
Yeah.
I think I'm very fortunate because I'm in the position to help people on all levels. So physical for sure with the massage therapy. And then that also kind of blends into mental and emotional. And then also spiritual. So when I do Reiki, regression therapy, like it really helps on those other levels. So most people come to see me for massage therapy. However, my Reiki practice has boomed from what it was when I started 10 years ago, where people were like, Reiki? What is this strange word I cannot pronounce? To now where they're like, I've heard you're really good. I need to come and see you. It's amazing. And so for those of you who don't know what Reiki is all about channeling energy to help your body's own natural ability to heal itself. And so in this particular moment in time, stress levels are at an all-time high because we keep hanging in this balance of someone else telling us what our future kind of holds, or not telling us what our future holds, really, because it's a waiting game. Are we shutting down? Are we staying open? Is there this crazy thing coming to get us? Are we going to step outside and get bombarded by the killer virus? We don't know. And so we're living in these unsettled times, which really throws our body off, on a spiritual level, emotional level for sure, and a physiological level as well. So, I mean, massage is amazing right now because we're full of tension. And so we need that to be released, or else we're just going to be a wreck. And then, of course, the Reiki to help plow through that emotional debris that we hold on to, because we can't possibly process all that's going on, especially when we're in a situation where we're being removed from being able to kind of see people and that human touch aspect. When you get together, you know, instinctually you hug people, you talk, whatever. And now we're kind of having that removed as well. So definitely adding that human touch element to my services is a huge bonus for people. I was just speaking to one of our friends yesterday. She's a shiatsu therapist, among other things. And we were discussing the importance of human touch. And she studied it quite a bit. And right now we're in this pandemic, not just of the virus, but of being removed from being social and being able to touch each other. And it's a huge part of our well-being, is being able to embrace each other and just having that light touch.
Yeah. I think like what I've also been finding in conversations with people and working with people is getting them to recognize and create wellness practices for themselves. Like, it isn't a matter of necessarily, like, different things work for different people, but it's also important. Like, I think the other reason that stress is at a all-time high, besides the obvious of what's going on, is that most people don't have any kind of wellness practice. And that goes from their nutrition to their sleep habits to their social habits and how they use food. Like, I remember when we went through the first lockdown and Michael and I had gone out to pick up like food, because he's like, I think everything's getting shut down. We should get some supplies. And I just looked around me when I was at the store, and people had all this processed food, all this junk food. There was a lineup around the block for the LCBO. And these are all things that, with what I know, I'm like, well, that's the absolute wrong stuff you want to be putting into your body when you need your immune system to be at its strongest. And so, well, no wonder you feel bad. Like, sugar and alcohol are depressants. Like, it's really going to mess with your mood. So if you're already in a low state and you're putting these things into your body that are going to affect your mood even more, because they're affecting your gut health, which is where most of your feel good hormones are, where most of your serotonin is, then of course you're going to feel worse. And so it's really, really important. And it's interesting because now that we've gone this many months into this, I've had people kind of come back around and go, okay, yeah, I know I need to clean up my diet. And like, time and time again, when I work with people and they clean up their diet, they're like, I just wake up in the morning, like, yeah, my mother-in-law still drives me nuts, but I'm just in a good mood. And it's because they're fueling their body differently. And once you start fueling your body differently, your mood is different, your energy is different. And yeah, things in life are going to happen that are going to stress you out, but the way you cope with them is different. And besides nutrition, there's of course other kind of wellness practices you can have. Like, one of my favorites is having a gratitude journal. It's like a 2-minute practice. It costs you nothing except 2 minutes of your time to sit down, and it actually literally rewires your brain so that you're more like wired for joy and less for stress. But those are all kind of the little things that someone can do for themselves beyond working with you. Like unless they want to run out and see you every single day, and unless they want to,
which they should.
sure, go ahead, see Kaz every day and call me every day for emotional support, and we'll talk through everything. But it's good to also have these kinds of tools in your toolbox so that you're able to, like, we are literally being forced to look inwards and go inwards, whether we like it or not. And most people don't voluntarily look at going into self-examination mode. But we are, like, if we wanted to just really look at it from a truly spiritual perspective, like, let's just take all of the sort of the events and the story and all that out of it. If you just took a bird's eye view and looked at it from a spiritual perspective, we are being forced to go inward.
Well, to slow down, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
To slow down, to go inward. And there's a lot of resistance. Like, a lot of people have a lot of resistance to that, because anytime you slow down and you start to examine, it's going to bring up all of your stuff. And it's uncomfortable, and that, I think, is what creates even, I mean, yes, there are the externals, but there's also sort of the stuff that comes from the inside within people that's creating this hyper stress and anxiety. But in order to deal with that, there are ways to deal with that and process through that. And I mean, that's literally what you and I help people with. We just have different tools, but that's kind of the idea.
Well, and I think, like you said, so many people, it's uncomfortable for them to reflect on any inner conflict. And so it's fabulous that we have these distractions, such as Netflix. Did you see how I just like roundabouted it from our conversation? Right? And I've noticed that more people are taking an active role in their health and well-being. I think they're starting to piece together the fact that they have to start on their inside in order to maintain good health. And so moving forward, unfortunately, this pandemic probably won't be the last that the humankind ever sees. Throughout history, there's been lots of examples of, us being faced with crazy viruses and bacteria. So the importance of how healthy we are, I believe, is starting to dawn on people. And that health doesn't mean popping a cold FX pill or whatever it is, that it has to start on, yes, a cellular level, but also on like within our thoughts and our emotions and what we're doing, and not just laying on the couch eating, the French fries as we drink a beer. So I'm really seeing clients who maybe would come once or twice a year coming on a very regular basis. They're making it a priority now, which is great, because we've literally been forced, like you said, to kind of halt things and take a good look and start to prioritize. So we can't travel as much anymore, if at all, which I know people love to do. Why? Because you get to go out and kind of relax and embrace things, whereas obviously we're not doing that right now. So what's the next best thing?
I love the saying, create a life that you don't need a vacation from. And I think a lot of people, by circumstance of how they create their life, they create too much to do and too much busyness that they literally don't make time for themselves. And so that, I think, is also problematic, and that's what creates so much stress and anxiety for people. But I mean, I also want to say, on the pandemic side, there are things that humans can do differently so we don't put ourselves in the same situation. But that's kind of up to our government to create bigger policy changes and mandates, especially around the food system. But that's a big, long conversation. So it's not like we don't know what created this mess, but it's just up to us collectively to make bigger, more powerful decisions. And maybe they'll happen, maybe they won't, who knows? But I think on an individual level, it would be good to take this time to create this toolbox of wellness practices that one can do. And these are things that are meant to be done every single day. It's not something that you do once in a blue moon. Like, I meditate every single day, not when I get around to it. I make time for it. It usually means I have to get up earlier. I'm mindful of my nutrition every single day, not once in a while, right? And so there are things that you can be doing on a regular basis. Gratitude, like, that's an easy one. Like, it's something that I do at the end of the day. I pick up my journal and I just scribble some stuff down. I reflect on the day. And it just means that your life kind of, it becomes this container where you get to choose, am I going to do A or am I going to do B? And if A is not helping you and it's making you feel worse and more stressed out and more anxious, then it's time to shift and try something else and give it a shot. Like, give it like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, ideally like 100 days, to really give yourself the opportunity to create deep, lasting change. And then probably your way of reacting to whatever is going on in the world around you is going to be much more grounded and less from a place of stress and more from a place of ease. And it doesn't mean that you never get stressed out. It's just that you have the coping mechanisms for it.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, stress is actually quite beneficial to us, just in small doses.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to ever not have any stress in our life. We just need to learn how to go from stress back down to neutral quickly and effectively. So, yeah. So I think, just to summarize, having an outlet for stress, understanding that health and wellness begins within us, is key. And if anyone's interested in more information, they can contact us on the Insta and the FB.
I am at Julie Brar, and you are
at Key Health and Wellness Whitby. Yes. So, to wrap things up, this show can also be heard on the Barn Burner Network, Inc. on its 122 platforms. The H.E.R Network is part of the Barn Burner Media Network. Please check it out at www.barnburner.ca for all the news and programming. Barn Burner, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it.
Whoop, whoop.
Have a great day, everyone. We will see you next time.
Next week.